Hi, my name is TJ. My dad died of overdose on January 1st, 2011, and my mom is a recovering addict. God helped my mom, and now together we are here to help you. Now let's talk recovery. Here's your host, my mom, Susan Sexton-Wood.
Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk Recovery. I am your host, Susan Sexton-Wood. We have a good show today with someone that will be singing for us, and we also have a co-host again with us, and that is Terri Bogue. I want to welcome Terri to the show again and thank her for just taking the opportunity to be here as we just let's talk recovery and bring encouragement and hope to those that struggle with addiction or have addiction in their family. Laura Bratton is going to be singing for us, and I want to give her this time now. I encourage you to listen to this song. It is a very special song to her, and we'll be talking about the song along with her testimony when she comes on to the show. Laura.
Life goes on. I just wrote this about a couple hours ago. I walked for miles, getting nowhere. I've been the one that breathes from nowhere. I've left with no goodbyes. I've shadowed all the light by my side. I had to be strong. No choice, just move on. Those days are far behind me now. Life goes on. Memories can fade so quickly, along with those who made them with me. Wish God could see me now. You laugh and ask me how now. I feel so alive. You showed me wrong from right. I walked down the wrong path before. Life goes on. A prisoner of pain and warfare. I played that game, I won't go back there. I walk before I crawl. That's why I never saw, missed it all. Just another bridge to burn. Another lesson learned. A thought that I brought back to life was hard to find. Life goes on. Life goes on. Goes on. Yep.
Many people are losing their lives to the epidemic that is in our world today. We can have compassion, we can have sorrow, we can just be there to encourage and motivate someone that is going through that struggle to choose recovery and to continue on with their lives. I want to thank Laura for singing that song, and I'm going to just ask her to share what that song means to her and why it was written. Laura?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You can cry.
My husband wrote that song 5 years ago, and somehow it's just how God works, I guess. But that was just, it was like he knew, you know. It was written for now, and that was 5 years ago. He died July 6th this year of a really bad drug overdose. And I've really been struggling a lot with addiction and drugs. When he died in the hospital, he was on life support for a day and a half, and when he died, I lost my mind, and they checked me into the psych ward for a night. And when I got out of that psych ward, I went and I just went crazy. I went and got high. I binged for about a week. And then I said, what am I doing to myself? So I stopped for 6 days straight. I stayed at my dad's this whole time while this was happening. And it's a bad place for me anyway, because he's a drug addict, a bad drug addict. But I laid in bed for 6 days and slept. I've never slept so much in my life with no drugs. I just didn't care. Sometimes I really still don't, but I'm getting better. I'm pushing myself. I reached out to Susan because I know that she's went through a similar situation, and for the first time talking to her, I feel like I have some hope. Because it's so hard when you talk to people and people don't know what to say to you. But to lose your spouse is so different, and the pain is so different than from when you lose a loved one like your mom, or I've lost my mom to addiction. And it's still really fresh and raw, and it hurts so bad. And I just don't want to feel. My entire life I've been on drugs. My mom put me on Ritalin from first grade to sixth grade, and then from that point it was opiates. Till last year, and I was 32, and I got sober for 6 months, and I relapsed and went to treatment, got sober again, and then my husband passed away, and I started doing the drugs again. But I really want to be normal. I know what it takes to be normal. I really do. I know the steps. I know God is such a big factor in it all. And I'm not going to lie, I'm still a little bit angry with him because I don't understand why he would take such a beautiful person from this world, but it's not for me to question, and I'm realizing that. So just with my sober support, which is very few, but I know I have God, and I know I have the few that I have, and I'm thankful for that. And I know that Eddie lives on through me. So anyway, I don't know what else to say, but just know that when stuff like that gets you down, you can push yourself. It is possible, you know. You just got to find the right people, go to church, whatever you got to do. Find serenity and peace, and just being alone if that's what you have to do, or journaling, or singing like I do constantly. Heck, I sing so much I lose my voice half the time now. But I'm just saying, just remember that it is still possible even to get through this. And people say God doesn't put on you more than you can handle, and I said he must be suiting me up, because buddy, this is some heavy stuff. So anyway, thank you.
We want to just let you know, with Unchained Praises, we just bring reality. And so God laid on my heart to bring Laura on the show, even though she is still struggling and she has lost her husband. And we want to bring what's really happening in the world out there to you. And Laura has reached out. She is trying to build her own recovery plan, and she's looking at recovery and sobriety, and those are different. And she knows things that she needs to apply to her recovery to get back out there in the world and to use her talent. God has given her a gift that not all of us have. And so for her to use the gift that she has, she does love the Lord, and she loves singing for him. The song was the song that her husband has written, and just singing, just hearing the words on that song, it fits what you're going through today. And so God does always have a plan, and we don't understand it. Me, myself, I have lost my fiance due to overdose, and as we talked the other day, I encouraged her to know that even though she doesn't feel that things happen for a reason, we don't have to let our loved one die in vain. We can share their memory, and just they can still live through us. And that's kind of what we do. That's how Unchained Praises got started, with my recovery and the one that I lost due to overdose. This is serious, and people are losing their life, and we have to do something about it. And if all we can do is let's talk recovery, we're going to do that. But the let's talk recovery, when you say that, it can go so many different directions. There's people that are the addict that hurts. There is the family, the mother, the children, the fathers. And so there's a lot of hurt in this. And I'm going to ask my co-host, Terri, what are your thoughts on hearing Laura's testimony and just what she has shared with us?
I'm a crier too. Heartbreak. Yeah, heartbreak. I mean, I can't imagine. And it's so sad, you know, and when you're in the moment of grief, grief is debilitating, and you have to have that, but you can't stay there because it will suck you in so fast and just destroy any faith that's trying to grow. But earlier in another episode, when you had asked me what would I tell someone to do, and my response was to reach out, and you've done that, and you've made the best decision of your life. You know, when you think that it can't go on, Susan is proof that it can, and your heart's never going to stop beating for the love that you had and shared with him, and I'm so thankful for you for that, because that can't ever die. It's just always there, but life will go on, and just like with your music, you do have a gift. I mean, it's very moving. I mean, I cried listening to the song, and I didn't really know your story, but you'll get there, and I'm very proud of you for reaching out, and it's the next right decision, and you may not feel like you can do it, but you can. You can do it. You can do it.
So, Laura, what are some of your plans to apply recovery back into your life? What are the things that you're implementing to get back on track?
Well, first of all, going back to church. I used to go to Fellowship Church on Salisbury on the west side, and I stopped. Kind of felt unwanted there after a while because I'm in recovery and I'm an addict, and some people just aren't very nice about it. So that's okay though, because I can find another church, and so definitely keeping God into my life, and definitely keeping myself aware that, you know, I know that I may be angry with him, but he understands that, I'm sure. And I still love him, and I know that he loves me. And I know that he loved Eddie. I'm sorry, I just don't want to understand why. I can't help it. I'm trying to seek treatment, that hopefully to find a place that specializes in grief, because this is what I really need to work on. I need to learn how to cope with grieving this, because this is like the worst pain. And I've been through a lot of things in my life, a lot of different horrible things. And this is the worst thing I've ever went through. And I really, really want to be able to learn to cope with it, deal with it, make new sober friends, because I got a lot of active user friends. And even before, when Eddie was still alive, but even before I even met Eddie, I was sober, and these friends would still come over to my house and visit me, and if they needed something to eat, I would give them something to eat. If they needed a shower, let them take a shower. I didn't let them use it in my house, but they'd come there high, and I still wouldn't turn them away, because that's not what God would do. But I stayed sober, and I could even be around drugs, and it didn't even faze me, because I was just done. And I still want to be that person. I'm just so used to, back in my whole life, pretty much, just numb yourself. Take a pill, it'll go away, or smoke this, it'll go away, it'll all go away. And that's been the normal, but I know the other normal, which is the real normal to me. And everybody's normal is different. I'm aware of that, but mine is being sober and being happy and living life normally, doing the next right thing, working, taking care of your family. And I was so happy with that. And so to get past this, just keeping God with me, seeking treatment, continuing to talk to Susan, continuing to talk to my counselors. I see 2 different therapists, and so I'm working on this as best I can. And I'm trying really hard to stay away from the drugs. And I'm not an opiate user anymore. It's speed. I will never go near any type of opiates, especially heroin. I can't stand to see people on it. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was somebody at my dad's house when I first got out of the hospital that did a big shot of heroin in the bathroom and almost overdosed. He was like on the brink of it. His face was all red. He was passing out, standing up, and I went in there and slapped him right across the face. I mean, I was still in shock. I was still in crazy mode, I guess, whatever, but I was so angry that somebody would just come in and blatantly disrespect me, knowing, and he knew exactly, what had happened, and still did that. So, but that's what addiction does. It's evil. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I do that all the time. I'm really trying to reach out. I don't have a whole lot. I don't really have any family. I really don't. I have a few friends, and the people that I keep meeting that God brings into my life, I thank God for, but there's not a whole lot. So I'm just trying to reach out anywhere that I can. I'm grasping at straws, but I really don't want to be. I don't want to be strung out, or I don't want to die. So,
Laura is at the beginning of her recovery, and that's what we're going to be working on, is her personal recovery plan. I can tell you that we're going to encourage her to be around just sober people, and even though we want to help those that are in active addiction, we still need to protect our recovery. And so we're going to help her learn how to protect her recovery, how to build her recovery, and how to just start moving forward and become her normal with taking care of her child and working and living a productive life in society. And so I encourage you to pray for Laura. It takes a lot to come on a show and admit that you're struggling and talk about the things that you're talking about. We have on one of the other shows, we have an OBGYN that is a doctor that really, really cares about women that are pregnant and that they're struggling. And so if there's something else that you want to share, I think it's a big thing for you to start talking about these things, because people are going to hear you, and it's going to bring more people into your life and help you build that recovery that you really, really need. It takes a lot to do what you're doing, and I want to thank you for being on the show today.
Absolutely. On July 7th, the day after my husband died and I was leaving the psych ward, they told me that I was pregnant. So it was really overwhelming because we had been trying from the beginning. So when they told me that I'm going to be straight up. I was so overwhelmed, and I was almost felt selfish, but I didn't even even want to think about that. Like, push that out of my head. Okay, so what? I'm pregnant. My husband just died. Like, that's all I could think about. Like, I want him back, But I'm starting to embrace that. But the fact that I'm hurting my child, I've hurt my child, I feel like I don't want to be that person. I'm not that type of mother. I have a 5-year-old son who I have signed temporary guardianship over to his father because I'm not mentally capable of being alone and taking care of him right now. All the time, I have severe panic attacks. I can't even go into public. I can't go into Walmart for very long. I can't go into waiting rooms. I definitely can't go into elevators. And I've never been like that. I've always been a people person. I'd be the first person to go up to talk to the weirdest, goofiest looking dude and not know who he is or not know his name. And I've always been that way, but I've just developed a really bad, post-traumatic stress and real bad panic disorder, anxiety. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but that's just, I'm analyzing myself, whatever. And now the fact that I'm pregnant, it just gives me more anxiety because it's just such an evil thing, and it's such a vicious cycle because that's all I know, and I don't want to feel it hurt so bad that I push myself and I lay there on the couch for 3 days, 4 days at a time, and I sit there and listen to sad songs and do, the depression thing, and I don't shower. I don't care about nothing. And I actually have a few people that have come and taken shifts to babysit me to make sure I get off my butt and take a shower. And I do what I have to do. But the main time that I'm ever okay is if I get high. Most of the time. I've been a mess all day until Susan called me and told me I could come sing and stuff. So it made me feel better because I always love to sing. But I got to get back to normal, and I know what it is to be normal. I know what it takes to be normal. I just need help coping and getting back to recovery and coping with this, and that's all. Just dealing with this grief. As soon as I learn to do that and be okay just being me again, I'll be fine. I can resist drugs. I don't need them. That's all that I know to do to not feel, and I can't stand it. So that was really hard to say about me being pregnant.
We're coming to toward the end of the show, and Terri, do you have anything after listening to Laura just share all of the hurt and just things that she's shared with us? She's pregnant, and to just be honest about what her life is today, I know is got to be hard, but at the same time, she wants something different, and that's what we're here for. What could you say to help her?
I think that, you can obviously tell that you're just so overwhelmed. Your emotions are heavy, and justifiably so. And I remember a couple things you've always said, Susan, is keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing has to be your recovery, because you're going to be a good mom and enjoy this baby, and you're going to make it through this grief. So keep the recovery your main thing, and everything else God will take care of it. It'll all just fall into place. And she also had taught me that with addiction, you have to get out of your head. And it's hard, because you're overwhelmed with grief and pain, and you wouldn't be normal if you didn't have the grief. But I, on a personal level, have saw what grief has done to someone. And when you hear people use that expression, well, they died of a broken heart, I literally saw this person's physically was just dying of a broken heart. And when he figured that out, he fought through it, and he brought God on the scene to get him through that grief, because it was literally killing him. So you can't stay there, because you don't want that either. But you'll get through it. You just one day at a time. And the other thing is, when you said you don't have any family, and I think that's probably the biggest reward that I've gained as the mother of an addict, is being incorporated with all the people that struggle, and there's no greater feeling than to be part of their lives. So you're always welcome to be part of our family. Because everybody needs, everybody needs it. And I think that sometimes I get really irritated with my son, because I'm thinking, you have so much that so many people would give anything to have. And, family and support, and it's like he's living with a silver platter, and he just doesn't seem to want to partake of it yet, So I don't know how far you are away from Winchester, but we are there, and we'll be right there for you anytime, all the time. And you'll make it. I know you will. God will get you through it. You will make it.
We encourage you to pray for Laura, put her on your prayer list, and prayer is powerful. And so as we continue to work with her on her recovery plan, the goal is to have no use, and to get the help that she needs in every direction. And so we just encourage you to continue to pray for her. And there's the number on the screen. If you feel that God is leading you to reach out to her, then we encourage you to call. We are the voice of the still suffering addict. We are the voice of the parents that scream for their children. We are the voice of the children that cry for their parents. We are the voice of hope. I encourage you again to pray for Laura, to pray for Unchained Praises, and the things that we need to do to continue this ministry, to get the word out when it comes to Let's Talk Recovery and the different people that are on the show. We want to bring reality to what is happening out here in the world. And this is reality. This is the truth and what is happening. And so I encourage you to just continue to pray for us.